Previously on Do More Movies.
Everyone remembers what they will be against him and try to cut his balls off.
Man, I suck at this. I'm the bad guy?
Yeah. Boring and unfulfilling life.
Stupid.
Who might seem like a super rich, hip, fly, cool dude. I have just came to an epiphany. In the last video I talked about Do More Movies. The movies in question were Donnie Darko, Fight Club, Falling Down, The Matrix, and American Psycho. What do all of these movies have in common? They primarily feature men protagonists. Protagonists that are male and either have mental illnesses or feel severed off from society. You see, all of these movies are stories about conformity and not wanting to fit in and being depressed. I can see why these movies are popular now, because depressed 14-year-olds can find movies that they resonate to, like, oh, that's a depressed mid-20s, mid-30s man. I'm a depressed 14-year-old too as well. Oh man, I think I just overgeneralized an entire group of people that I don't know outside of the mainstream. Extremist. Now, in the last video, I picked 5 of the movies that were on that IMDb list that I thought were the most popular picks for Doomers, and ones that I've watched previously. But now, with this video, instead of going on IMDb, I'll be going to search for more underground, niche, or art house films. And where to find that? Of course, Letterboxd. So yeah, instead of 5 movies, it's gonna be 7. Also, I need to clarify, last time I did this, my video got copyright blocked because I showed way too much footage of Fight Club and The Matrix. So, whenever there's any movie scenes, this dude's gonna appear taking up like half the screen. So, yeah. Nightcrawler is a 2014 neo-noir black comedy thriller film written and directed by Dan Glory. In his directorial debut, it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, which would be the second movie in a row I talk about with Jake Gyllenhaal in it. Our main character in this movie is Lou Bloom, a very shady-like guy who will do basically anything to make money. And during a car ride back home, he gets a spark of inspiration for a new lucrative business endeavor, crime investigative journalism. So he can get footage of crimes happening all around LA and sell that footage to news networks to be featured on TV. And when I say anything, I do mean anything. As long as he gets that perfect shot, it doesn't matter if he has to hire a homeless guy, or tamper with evidence, or sacrifice his own friend to get shot at. Just as long as the footage is good enough to submit to the news networks, that's fine by him. And as competition between news networks increases, the demand for more violent, dramatic, intense, and depressing crime with KWLA 6 increases, which is how we go from simple car crash victims to full-on home invasions and mass shootings. Lou Bloom is very good at crossing the line and covering his tracks right after, which is why even when he's interrogated, nothing happens to him. His assistant cameraman, Nick, gets treated like garbage by Lou throughout the entire movie. And despite going through all of this, being his camera buddy, filming like car crash victims and plane crashes and more, he only gets offered a raise until near the end of the movie at the last night. The same night where he gets shot. Truly a tragic life, used as just another pawn in Lou's sick, twisted game to get validation from Nina of KWLA 6 News and get a fat check. And by the end of the movie, he wins because he has a whole news crew following him called Video News Production, a part of his company. This movie is about the pursuit of sensationalism and spectacle rather than searches for genuine solution and coverage. How it makes you lose your psyche and demolishes any sense of morals that you have. The increasing competition and need for more violent content, and the dehumanization and disillusionment with victims of real-world tragedies for the sake of content. Fan art. Well, depending if you're talking about the 2014 Jake Gyllenhaal movie or the X-Men character, but in total, there are 21 Google page results worth of them. Amount of TikTok edits, about 22 Google page results worth of them.
I investigated the most dangerous city in America.
Who are you? YouTuber.
What are you doing? Filming what?
A YouTube video called I Interviewed the Most Dangerous City in America.
No. Bad YouTuber. Bad.
Okay.
Look, either back away or you're under arrest for obstruction.
I'm so sorry.
Now, scram, skedaddle, shoot. Geez, I'm trying to save people's lives here. I did not investigate the most dangerous city in America.
Ryan Gosling Drive is sort of like the opposite of Nightcrawler in the sense that it's really boring. The plot is pretty straightforward. Basically, we got our main character Ryan Gosling, who is a stunt driver for movies, but also works with a crime boss. He wants to get in love with the actor of Daisy Buchanan from the 2013's The Great Gatsby. But his life of crime interferes with his love life. The romance stuff within this movie is very poorly handled, since the conversations with the girlfriend are very awkward, with them responding with one-word responses. It's something like, Hey, how are you? Good. Basically like that. The action scenes in question can get pretty violent, and I know it's supposed to be realistic, but it's a bit over the top, it's like Doom Eternal. Nothing much really happens in the first 40 minutes, but it's only until afterwards where things start to get a little bit interesting. And even then, it's kind of bloated. I know this movie commonly gets labeled as like a modern day classic, but I just don't get it. It's just... I almost fell asleep while watching the movie about 1 hour and 8 minutes in, but then I realized, this is the elevator scene. Got it. This movie generally is just, very slow and awkward. It's a mid-movie. I'm sorry if you like this, but, it's mid. It's average. It's like a 63% Rotten Tomatoes movie for me. Amount of fan art, 36 Google pages worth of them. Amount of TikTok edits, 42 Google pages worth of them. Hi, Daisy Buchanan. There's a guy with a gun in the elevator where we are right now, and I don't mean to give you lifelong mental trauma because you've been with me for all these few weeks, and I really love you, but I really gotta curb stomp this dude's head in before he kills us all. But before that, I love your new reader that like. Mwah. Daisy Buchanan from the 2013 Great Gatsby movie. Where are you going? What's the matter? You don't like dating serial killers? Now I have no life. Memento is a bit of a weird movie. Kind of like Donnie Darko in the sense that it doesn't really make much sense, but here's the gist of the plot, basically. So we got our main character, whose name is Lenny, who has a short-term memory loss, mental illness, and has to write stuff on his body to keep track of things. All he knows, basically, is that his wife has been murdered by some guy named John G., as well as some other facts written on his body that will help him along the way, and a series of photographs, too, leaving key details and people and details of people he needs to know, basically. Throughout the movie, the scenes and events are played out of order, so, very non-traditional kind of storytelling. Now, a lot goes on throughout the movie. Like, sometimes there's these black and white scenes that are flashbacks to when he's getting these tattoos, talking to some guy on the phone. The movie starts with Lenny shooting his friend Teddy, believing that he's the killer. But after that, going through, like, the whole black and white timeline, he gets an envelope from, like, Teddy, and because of that, the timeline loops and is changed, and that is when he finds out that there was no Johnny G killer. The Johnny G killer was already dead already, but he just lost his memory of it those moments. And throughout the movie too, with the black and white flashback scenes, he equates his mental illness to some guy named Sammy who he had to work with, which he was frustrated about since during like a car crash he also has like the same kind of memory. He put his wife in a coma by injecting too much insulin into his wife's bloodstream, putting him into a coma, as revealed until the fact that Lenny himself was actually like Sammy. He was the one who did this, and that other so-called wife that he had wasn't real. This plot twist blew my mind. I loved how all the, like, facts unravel. I loved the twists and turns of that. It was so intriguing and, like, thought-provoking, too. There are other important plot details in the movie, too, like how Lenny meets some girl in a cafe called, like, Natalie, but he forgot about her, and that Natalie's basically like Lenny's girlfriend. And also, midway through the movie, he's being chased by a guy named Dodd, who he believes would be responsible for his wife's death, and he also tries to kill him multiple times. It's like some kind of like drug dealer, like crime ring stuff going on. It's very hard to try to explain the plot of the movie because, like the puzzle piece Lenny had to go through within the movie, trying to figure out the course of events is also a puzzle piece in of itself. Amount of fan art, probably like 30 pieces or something. Amount of TikTok edits, I'm going with 36 on this tab.
Come on, Mom!
No, I didn't!
Liar!
I wake up and I don't remember anything. When did this happen? Oh, right. I
I got it.
Oh yeah, hi there. Yeah, am I okay? Yeah. So I got a note on my list that's there to remind me that Arnold killed my mom. You see, I have this condition where I can't remember things that happened recently, but I can remember things that happened minutes ago. So I always write notes on myself to make sure what happened previously. So I got a list of alt-right grifter names I have on my chest too, you know? Because I'm writing a book report called Hypermasculinity History. Yeah. So I gotta remember the kind of people that I hate. Remember Gilbert. Oh yeah, anyways, Gilbert Cletus, right? That dude kinda sucked, you know? So senile, you know? One time, you know, he accidentally injected too much insulin in his wife's bloodstream, and it caused her to go into a coma because she couldn't remember the last time he put in insulin. Don't trust Eric. Don't pick up the phone. Anyways, yeah, I'll be gone now. Bye-bye. Alright. Look at book. Take off your pants. Huh. Arnold Shapiro's phone number, unfold. 1-800-888-888. Take off your pants? I already did that. Turn around, you imbecile. Okay, that's a bit rude. Yes. Hi, Arnold Shapiro. Would you like to meet me at the garage, you know, just for a special little meeting? Yeah, I decided to put it right there, you know. I was originally going to go interview Arnold Scheckelstein, but, you know, you'd go just fine. Meet me, my friend, from university. Yeah, bye. Okay, so you want to talk to me in the garage? This is a weird location. Whoa there!
You killed my mom!
Look, honestly, I don't know what you're talking about right now. I didn't do anything.
Liar! I forgot. Arnold Scheckelstein already made his appointment. Maybe he knows something about this dude. Is he a drug dealer or something?
Hey there, welcome! Hi there. Hey there, James. I'm just here to check out what's going on, you know, see if you're okay. Don't turn around. Okay, turn around, but slowly. You're the one who killed my mom, aren't you? Who's this guy? Who's he? Who's this guy? You're lying. Obviously you know anything, Eric. Now put the gun down. Seriously, have you gone mad? Your mom's still alive. There's no, like, Arnold-esque killer going on. My name is Arnold Scheckelstein. Eric is just my pen name, okay? Gilbert Cletus, that's our art teacher. That's like someone else. Alright? You like to make up problems for you, but you can't seem to remember how you even got there. Seriously. You're gonna need a little more than therapy. You're gonna need, like, to go to a sanitarium or something. You're right. I'm not a biomed student. Wait. You can't drop out right now. We're almost done with the year. What? War movies I should pick. I can't decide. Paths of Glory, Apocalypse Now, or Full Metal Jacket. I guess I'll spin the wheel. Apocalypse Now it is. Apocalypse Now is a 1979 war film set in the Vietnam War. It is a movie about the reality of war and how pointless it can all be near the end. It is horrific. It is loud. It is upsetting. It is creepy. It is chaotic. And many more. And I feel that it is a common misconception that participating in war, let alone any kind of danger, is seen as masculine somehow. Like, hey, remember kids? Killing people is manly. Especially if you're doing it in wartime, but also it's not good. But also, it's one of man's main purposes in life. Even though this movie is filled to the brim with social commentary, the basic progression is pretty simple. So basically, we got our main character that is named Captain something something, and he's on a mission to try to fight the court, which is on who is in an indigenous tribe location deep in one of the worst places in the world through a deep river. So him and his crew go on a boat to try to find Kurt and to try not to die in the process. The so-called bad guys in this movie are either just like villagers trying to protect their homeland, or indigenous tribe of people so traumatized by the horrors of war that they sever themselves from society. The other American soldiers are portrayed to be invasive and foul-mouthed, people with clearly much more resources than the other villagers in Vietnam, but abuse their power because they don't know why they're doing this. They just are here. And our main character doesn't even fire a single bullet throughout the entire movie. The only time we see him kill someone is at the end of the movie, which is Kurt. Kurt in question being the only character in this movie that is justified by getting killed off. Fan art, 26 Google pages worth of them. Amount of TikTok edits, 20 Google pages worth of them. Friend, this is the end. My only friend, the end of our elaborate plans, the end of everything that stands, the end. No safety or surprise, the end. I'll never look into your eyes. Can you I don't. Can you picture what will be? So limitless and free, desperately in need of some stranger's hand. Oh, man. I know this movie is well regarded by many, but personally, I don't like this movie that much. I don't know if it's A, I'm so out of it and tired that I don't really care about these movies anymore, or B, I'm too young to really understand the appeal for these, or C, I'm a stupid little Gen Alpha skibbity toilet brain and I'm a little simpleton who only likes stimulation. Don't get me wrong, the action scenes were really well done and I thought they were very cool, but this movie taught me that maybe I wouldn't enjoy The Godfather a lot because I'm not the target audience. I don't even remember any of the characters' names. It's like some cops and robbers kind of story. With some romance drama sprinkled in there too. I loved how the villains really don't feel much like villains, more like just struggling people trying to make ends meet. It really does a good job humanizing these criminals. It's just that the plot to me was hard to follow. But I gotta praise how realistic this movie felt. Especially the action scenes, they just felt so weighty and visceral. And the characters are so believable in their portrayals. Come to think of it, I don't know if I like this movie or not. Maybe if I wasn't making this video, I would have enjoyed it more. You know, even despite its 3-hour long run time. But for now, I'll chalk it up to, it was alright, I guess. Amount of fan art, 14 Google page results worth of them. Amount of TikTok edits, 27 Google page results worth of them. What?
Give me the money!
What, am I supposed to be scared of you because you have a gun? This is my 3rd time getting robbed today. Nothing surprises me anymore.
Now!
Okay, fine, use $5. $5? Hey, $5 is worth 6,890 in Nigeria, okay? So at least there's that. What did I just watch? Eraserhead is a 1977 horror fantasy film directed by David Lynch. The movie has this very foreboding and lonely and suffocating atmosphere to it. There's like crushing and like crashing sound effects played throughout the background as if there's some kind of carpet bombing happening or something. Everything is all rickety, rackety, and run down. It's like I'm watching someone's fever dream. So we got our main character, Henry, who is, I don't know, living out his normal life or something. He attends a family dinner that is kind of creepy, but I don't know, like... But then this happens. We head back to his apartment, and then this thing shows up. So now the rest of the movie basically takes place in this one awful night where Henry has to take care of his own alien baby. His wife dies and now has super big cheeks or something, I don't know. Things just get weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder, and I guess this is supposed to be the Eraserhead planet or something. Henry dies or something, You see, why the movie's called Eraserhead is that in a scene of this movie, Henry's decapitated head is picked up by a kid and is traded in with a pencil eraser factory, and his head gets harvested for pencil erasers. Other than that, the movie, I guess, is a metaphor for infertility or something. Yeah, Oh yeah, Henry also kills his alien baby. So, confusing this aside, this was a very refreshing movie for me, because at this point I've been all used to the over-the-top blood and guns action splatterfest that I've been subjected to these past 5 movies. And it managed to be one of the few horror movies I watched that managed to unsettle me and, I guess, kind of disturb me in some way. Not scared, just made me feel uneasy. It truly is a prime example of the less you know, the scarier things can be. I loved the outdoor scenes in this movie, especially because, like, it's so empty and lifeless and barren, not a single soul in sight. It's so loud, yet so quiet. It's like how some people imagine the suburbs would feel like. And I would say that I'm actually impressed with how much this movie managed to stand the test of time, with how old it is and how little actually happens. This is the kind of film that wannabe film students want to make. Is the cinematic equivalent of depression. And even some of the gore in this movie was shocking and made me wince, which is rare. And a quick little refresher from all the neo-noir, crime, or, war movies that I've covered for this video. It's experimental, but in a good way, not a snobby and pretentious way. But that doesn't mean everyone will like this movie. You see, it's kind of like the end of Evangelion in the sense that it makes absolutely no sense. And just because it's highly well regarded doesn't mean you'll end up liking it. Because watching Drive and Heat definitely taught me something about that. Fan art? Well, it depends if you're talking about the 1977 David Lynch movie or the My Hero Academia character. But in total, there are 18 Google pages worth of them. Technically. Amount of TikTok videos, 20 Google page results worth of them. I've already realized this since the first Do More Movies part, but this isn't an actual metric about how many Do Mores like these kind of movies. More like just an exploration of how much fan content there exists of these movies.
Look, if you're gonna cry quieter. I'm trying to nap. I can't be a father anymore. I'm sorry that I have to do this. Screw this. Done. I just killed my own alien son. I hope I'll get to see my wife in heaven. It sucks.
So to cap off this depression gauntlet, we have Taxi Driver, a Martin Scorsese film. So we got our main character Travis, who doesn't know what he's doing with his life. His job is being a taxi driver, as his name would imply. And he also watches X-rated movies. And is also bothered by the presence of an up-and-coming liberal president called the Palatine. He tries to flirt with Betsy, who works at an office in charge of those Palatine poster ads. But then his date with Betsy goes south after a movie night where Travis takes Betsy to see an X-rated film with him. She dumps him, and she is never seen again. Travis is fed up with the problems about his city, seeing crime rates, sewage leakage, and gangs, and even more, and is even more upset the fact that the up-and-coming president isn't doing anything about it. So he tries taking things into his own hands, becoming a cowboy. As his first outing in vigilante justice, he hooks up with the girl Iris, who is a 12-year-old victim to prostitution. She doesn't want to go back to her parents, and she's about half content living this lifestyle, not even attending school. Travis also trains vigorously to make sure he can participate and win from the war against gang members. Eventually, after enlightened with his relationship with Iris, he shaves his head and dons his 4 guns that he got from an arms dealer. At first, he considered assassinating Palantine, but it didn't work out very well. So instead, he goes to the gang hideout, where after an intense shootout, saves his damsel in distress, that is Iris. And after that, everything seems okay. Iris gets returned back to her family. Travis is heralded as a hero, and he magically grew back his hair, and his neck and the shoulder wounds magically healed overnight. But something seems a bit off. The ending is pretty much left ambiguous, whether if he actually survived or he actually died in the shootout and he's just imagining all of this in his last dying breaths. Sure, this movie tackles the topic of loneliness, but it's also about so much more, like frustrations with political systems, the reality of being a vigilante, jaded relationships, and I liked the movie. Thought it was realistic. It was dramatic. You know, I don't got much to say about it. Let's just get on with it. Amount of fan art. 30 Google page results worth of them. Technically. Amount of TikTok edits. I'd say 15 Google pages worth of them. So, now that I have gone over 7 of the Doomer movies that were on that Letterboxd list, I feel more informed as to what kind of characters and plots that these kind of movies have. It's kind of funny to me how, I'm watching Taxi Driver, right? There's so much, more to it, but on TikTok, it's just boiled down to a 20-second depression compilation. Let's look at a meme. It's one of those literally me kind of memes, alright? Captain Jack Sparrow, Patrick Bateman, the Joker, Derek from American History X. It's up spam on my computer. Tyler Durden from Fight Club, Walter White, Donnie from Donnie Darko, Vince from Pulp Fiction. I forgot the name. He's from Guardians of the Galaxy. Lou Blooms from Nightcrawler. Ryan Gosling from Blade Runner 2040, whatever. Ryan Gosling from Drive. Scott Pilgrim. Dark Knight Batman. Wolf of Wall Street. I haven't watched The Wolf of Wall Street. It's a guy from The Office. Travis from Taxi Driver, Deadpool, probably some Watchmen character, Homelander, and the Joker from 2019 Joker movie. Okay, let's see, who is this imaginary character? This imaginary guy who just so happens to be into all these kind of people. Oh, Han Solo, that's a valid choice. Let's go over this. We got Patrick Bateman. In the movie, he kills his co-workers and homeless people, and he's a psychopath. Alright, that's why it's called American Psycho. Got Ryan Gosling in Drive, who, fights gang members or something. We got Travis from Taxi Driver, who also fights off gang members, but by the end of the movie, he's also has insomnia and stuff. Tyler Durden from Fight Club, who is a figment of our main character's imagination, and he's a terrorist. Alright, this sounds so one-sided. I hate making this. Alright. Lou Blooms from Nightcrawler, who is an investigative journalist who takes videos of crimes and other high-profile, and other car crashes to sell to news reporters, and he doesn't care about the well-being of anyone else who works for him, and is solely doing this for the money. Donnie Darko from Donnie Darko, who is a mentally unstable and troubled teen who has his imaginary friend Frank and travels through time. Yeah, these. I don't know all these people, but I think I know most of them. I don't want to go into Derek, alright? I'm not talking about American History X, alright? But these are your role models? Really? Okay. Now you're a fake fan. You phony. I'll sentence you to an hour-long embarrassment ritual of doing a TikTok dance in a maid outfit and cat ears. In public. Of course. If you're fine doing it on camera to upload it to millions of people, might as well do it in public. Of everything that stands the end. No safety.